This is Riley Porter with Seattle Sumo. This is a commentary track for Day 2 of the 1960 Haru Basho. The official coverage for this tournament can be found on the Japan Sumo Association's official YouTube channel, and it should be in a playlist for years 30 through 60, Showa 30 through 60, I should say. Of course, this is Showa 35. The first day's coverage is available for free to anyone using YouTube, but days 2 through 15 are locked behind a membership wall. I believe a membership, as at this time, is about $8 a month. A worthwhile expense, in my opinion. Well, without further ado, I'll give our instructions and we'll jump into the coverage. I'll count backwards from 3. And once I hit the N in 1, 3, 2, 1, then you will click. I will click at the same time, and we will be in sync for this video. So, again, this will be on the Japan Sumo Association's official YouTube channel. If you are having difficulty finding it, you should know that I think that searching in English might not pull it up as quickly as trying to, copy-paste Japanese or type Japanese in to find it. In any event, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Futabayama, Taiho, Chianofuji, Archive. Alright, and this is day 2. There's the former Chianoyama standing at ringside there. Only retired a couple years ago, as of this basho. Our first match, both are Maegashiramen Atagoyama versus Tsune Nishiki. Atagoyama has a 6-1 lead on Tsune Nishiki coming into today's match, so certainly in his favor, or odds are in his favor, I should say. So he dives in low, gets to pushing on the chest and throat. Tsune Nishiki's braced himself on the bales, but loses his footing and ends up sprawling out. So that's Atagoyama's first win of the basho. Tsune Nishiki falls to 0-2. And Atagoyama moves to 7-1 in his personal rivalry against Tsune Nishiki. Now Hanada, new to the top division, against Kuninobori. Kuninobori hops to the side. Hanada's already deep inside with essentially a Morozashi double inside grip, not too deep. He rocks and rolls Kuninobori to the outside of the ring. So 2 straight on Hanada's debut in the top division, looking good so far. Narutoumi against Uragawa. Uragawa on 0-1. Narutoumi has a win so far. Uragawa is only in his second top division basho. Narutoumi gets a shallow left and tries for a keikaishi, a leg trip, a little kick to the inside. Uragawa is trying to get into Narutoumi here and tries to pull him down, but Narutoumi stays on his feet. And Uragawa follows up with some shoving to the chest and good movement towards the edge of the ring, pushing out Narutoumi. So Uragawa gets his first win. Narutoumi his first loss. Kiyonomori, back in the top division after a short absence, on 1-0 against Kani no Hana, 0-1. So Kani no Hana gets to pushing, gets the better of the Tachiai there. Kiyonomori is fairly upright, but he has his hand on the belt, braces himself, and tries for something in Mutari, tosses Kani no Hana behind him. And it looks like the call has gone for Kani no Hana. That's kind of what I figured. I think the camera operator was not quite certain. But there's Kani no Hana's first win of the basho. So you can see Kiyonomori being so light and tall, once you're in position, it's not too difficult to finish him off, but he's a tenacious fighter. Now, Shinobuyama, Onogawa veteran, against Yoshinomine. the small man from Takashima. So Shinobu gets to thrusting. Yoshinomine is trying to close inside, tries for a shoulder-shoulder swing down. Now he's got a double inside, but Shinobu cuts in with his right. But Yoshinomine slips behind him and finishes Shinobu with a okuridashi. Yoshinomine picks up his first win of the basho. So pretty fleet-footed sumo there. Kept moving. Didn't want to let the more experienced Shinobu. Oh, what's this? The decision was called for Shinobu. Reverse there. I'm not really sure what happened. But, well, if I had to guess, I would say probably Yoshinomine stepped out inadvertently prior to finishing off or during the finish off. It's hard to say, but that's an odd one. Oikawa against Hane Nishiki. Oikawa's got a 4-1 lead on Hane Nishiki here. Dives in low. Hane Nishiki bears down on him, but Oikawa uses his superior position, gets in deep and arches his back, lifting out and dropping Hane Nishiki outside the ring. So Oikawa gets his first win. Hane Nishiki his first loss. So many Dikishi with inverse scores evening up today. Now, Tokitsuyama, a Tatsunami veteran, strong man, against Wakano Kuni, a Hanakago relative newcomer. So he gets to pushing on a low charging Tokitsuyama, who weathers the blows and then fixes his right hand on the outside of Wakano Kuni's belt and crushes him down. Why Wakano Kuni collapsed is not totally clear, but I wonder if perhaps Tokitsuyama didn't wrench him from the side or perhaps trip him with the foot. In any event, he overpowered the younger man there, and so picks up his first win. Tokitsuyama, he's at a very low rank, his lowest in about a decade, so he should be expected to do better than he's done recently, which is to say not very well. He's sort of in the twilight of his career. Fukuriyama, Dewano Umi Juryo regular against Wakachichibu, rising star from Hanakago. So Fukuriyama gets to pushing, Wakachichibu braces himself, takes the punishment, doesn't really get his own offense going yet, but shoves back now, trying to work Fukuriyama backwards, but Fukuriyama isn't budging. Now he is, and now Wakachichibu gets to lifting. Working on that inside right there and gets slipped. Fukuriyama jumps out of his grasp to the right and Wakachichibu finds himself stepping outside of the dohyo. So, Fukuriyama gets his first win. I'm sure he'll be pleased with that. Something of a Juryo regular, Fukuriyama. He's not really strong enough to stay in the top division for long, but if he can get a winning record here, I think he can count himself pretty well accomplished. Matsunobori, former Ozeki, against Wakamisugi, a young man from the Hanakago stable. So Matsunobori explodes into Wakamisugi like a cannonball, flares his arms upward, and sends the younger Dikishi sprawling. So Matsunobori picks up his first win here on day 2. He made a Ozeki, I think, back in 58, or 56 rather, at the same time as Wakanohana, but they went down 2 different paths in the end. But still, plenty of fight left in him, as we can see. Tamahibiki, Nishonoseki lightweight against Waka Maeda, a noticeably bigger man from the Takasago stable. So Waka Maeda dives in low, and Tamahibiki reads him well, pulling on the back of his neck, wheeling around, and eventually sending him sprawling, sort of diving headfirst out of the dohyo. Tamahibiki picks up a second consecutive win, so not doing too badly. Watching his opponent well there. Now we have Ogi no Hana. A younger man from Dewano Umi, only 24, against Ao no Sato, another up-and-comer from Tokitsukaze. So Ao no Sato gets that shallow right, trying to keep his belt off Ogi no Hana, but no good. Ogi no Hana gets that inside. Ao no Sato doesn't waste any time, drives in, and then wrenches Ogi no Hana to the left with an inside right and sends him to the dirt. So Ao no Sato gets his first win. I think he's only been in the top division for maybe a year or less, Ao no Sato, so he's got some growing to do, certainly. Not quite able to stay in the Joy as of this time. The Shimpan are rolling out, as you can see. But a promising Dikishi. Could make Sanyaku relatively soon. Here comes the new Shinpan. Very tight space there. They're coming through. Looks like there's a gentleman trying to leave, perhaps, or find a seat as these judges are coming in. Now, Fusanishiki against Kaizan. Kaizan from Nishonoseki. Fusanishiki from Wakamatsu. Fusanishiki's a stout pusher. He likes his Oshi Sumo, so I'll be trying to get a good hit off the mark and finish Kaizan in a straight line. Kaizan, I think, will want to maybe duck to the side and get to his throwing. Now he does jump to the side, but Fusanishiki doesn't get tricked. He measures his Tachiai carefully and meets Kaizan in the middle and gets to shoving, finishing him off without wasting too much time. So Fusanishiki secures himself a good win. Here on day 2, Kaizan still has yet to pick up his first win. Naruyama, the younger man from Onogawa, he's Shinobuyama's stablemate, against Wakanoumi. Wakanoumi is in fact the shortest wrestler in this top division, but he does not let that deter him. Unfortunately, his fighting spirit is not enough to carry him through this match. Naruyama catches an outside leg trip and crushes Wakanoumi, picking up his first win. Wakanoumi, in his second Komosubi outing, has yet to pick up his first win after 2 days' action. And against a Maegashira opponent that's not too promising, a Komosubi has a difficult schedule always, and that should be an easier opponent for him. Now, Shionishiki, Dikishi with good muscle definition, especially his pectorals, well carved out, against Tochi Hikari, who got an unusual win against Asashio yesterday. Now, Shionishiki seemed to not be certain of his Tachiai there. He sort of just stood right up and received Tochi Hikari, but not with the usual sort of low stance you'd expect from a reactionary Tachiai. So Tochi Hikari has little trouble dispatching Shionishiki. So it goes to show just how much of the match is determined by the Tachiai. The rivalry up to this point was an even 4-4, so now Tochi Hikari pulls ahead with a slight edge, 5 wins in their overall. Fujinishiki is on 0-1 so far in his Komusubi debut against O Hikari, the Dewano Umi veteran. So Hikari comes in fast and furious, but Fujinishiki stays low, minds his footing, keeps Hikari off his belt. Now he gets to pushing. Good Hazuoshi pushing up on the armpit. And then a bit of Gaburi, popping the popping his belly, popping his hips to finish off Ohikari. So Fujinishiki, good aggressive sumo, picks up his first win here on day 2. Ohikari still without a win so far. But it's early days. We'll see how things shape up down the road. Now, Iwakaze, the senior Wakamatsu man this spa show, along senior to Fusanishiki. So Kitabayama comes jumping out. Iwakaze stays in low to catch him. Now they're keeping some distance from each other here in the ring. Kitabayama comes in, pushing upward, then fishes inside to get an inside right. Iwakaze settles on an outside left. Kitabayama arches his back. Seemed like he wanted to just do a regular old yori, maybe even trip up the legs, but Iwakaze keeping his legs back, so Kitabayama just quickly settled on a tsuri, a lift, and popped Iwakaze outside the dohyo. So second straight win. Kitabayama looking sharp. Iwakaze on 1-1. Anenyama, the other Sekiwake, or one of the other Sekiwake, there's 3 for this basho, is on 0-1 against Tsurugamine. Anenyama has an edge in their rivalry, 12-9. Their hands on the chest here, jockeying for position. Tsurugamine is trying to fish his way inside. Anenyama, I think, wants just a grip on the belt, of any sort, really. Tsurugamine's got a Morozashi now. He's in a strong position. He rocks and rolls and pushes out Anenyama. So Yorikiri win for Tsurugamine. A lot of jockeying for position with the hands there between the two, until finally Tsurugamine won out. So that takes their rivalry, his head-to-head with Anenyama, to 10-12 in Anenyama's favor. So plenty of matchups, and Tsurugamine got that much closer to evening up their rivalry overall. So the Izutsu man picks up his first win and in good style. Kita no Nara, Maegashira won against Kotogahama, Ozeki. Kotogahama has an edge in their rivalry, 11-8. Kita no Nara trademarks sharp, fast tachi-ai. So he gets that inside left and gets to running Kotogahama around the ring, but loses his footing there as he goes to finish him off. Now it's not really clear who the winner was, and it looks like there will be a mono-e. So Kita no Nara was on the attack there, but lost his footing as he went to finish off Kotogahama, so ended up falling forward onto his thigh inside, and so I wonder if perhaps they'll rule that he fell down before Kotogahama collapsed fully, or that the attack was successful. And so there will be a Tori Naoshi, a rematch. It was too close to call. So Kotogahama there probably will want to get a better tachi-ai going. I think he was a little flustered by Kita no Nara there in his speed. That's a little better, but Kita no Nara is still doing all the going here. Just hustling, keeping his belt from getting gripped too tightly, but Kotogahama finally gets that outside right he wants. Kita no Nara is bearing down on him, not giving him any room to work, and finally finishes him off. So this is a more certain outcome. There will be no mono-e. Kita no Nara won that match outright. Really goes to show how much speed counts. Even a wrestler who is well built. Kita no Nara is not a small man. Usually speed is associated with being a smaller wrestler, but Kita no Nara shows that speed is good no matter your size and counts for a lot. Even at his advanced age, he's one of the oldest men in the top division, behind really only Tamano Umi. They're both 37, I believe. So not showing his age. Kita no Nara looking good. Yeah, Waka Haguro against Deiwa Nishiki. They have already both got a win. Deiwa Nishiki kind of does a half hop forward low. Waka Haguro catches him and gets to pushing. He's at a good angle. And he finishes off Deiwa Nishiki without too much issue, so that's Waka Haguro's style. That's what you probably expect to see in general, is that nice 45-degree angle charge and good hand placement on the upper body and just pushing in a straight line. Good, reliable Oshizumo, so Waka Haguro picks up his second straight win. We'll see if he can make up for his last performance in Hatsu. He only managed a 7-8. Pretty disappointing, all things considered. He was really a Yokozuna prospect up until that point. Tama no Umi, in his trademark gold belt, takes on Yokozuna Tochinishiki. Tochinishiki has his arms out to catch Tama no Umi, and then a Kata Tsukashi under-shoulder swing down. Pivoting to his right. And picks up his second consecutive win. So Tochinishiki, the defending champion, looking good, looking strong. Tama no Umi, tough opponent. Hard to say. He's yet to pick up a win, but no need to count him out just yet. And Tochinishiki got a pot belly there, but he started out as a very light wrestler here in the top division. And he's put on weight over time. Sort of a necessity, really, once you get to Yokozuna. Now, Shin Sekiwake Kashiwado against Yokozuna Wakanohana. So Yokozuna Wakanohana promoted in Hatsu 58, so he's been at the rank for about 2 years now. Kashiwado hasn't even really been in the top division that long, and is only in his first Sekiwake Basho, so he's got a tough schedule. He hits hard at the chest. Wakanohana digs inside and pivots around, keeping himself in the fight. He's circling to the middle of the ring now. Now he's in a strong position, using that inside right deep. He tries to hoist up Kashiwado, but Kashiwado's a big man. It's no good yet. Kashiwado goes in to finish him off. Wakanohana doesn't let himself be taken out. He moves them back to the middle of the ring. He's pushing up on the armpit there. Now he's got a deep double inside Morozashi. He lifts, he walks, and he stops, leaving Kashiwado outside the ring and picking up his second consecutive win. So Wakanohana, showing his great fighting spirit. A very light Yokozuna. He shows how he is, that he's made the top rank despite his size. And that's with a lot of strength and a lot of tenacity. So he keeps pace with his rival Tochinishiki. And that leaves us with only one more bout for today. And that is between Asashio and Taiho. Taiho in only his second Makunochi Basho. And this is a first-time meeting between these two. So Asashio comes in a little lower than Taiho, despite being a little taller. Pushes up on the chest and armpit of Taiho and really has not much issue in finishing him off. So Asashio making up for his lackluster performance yesterday and finishes off the newcomer without too much fuss. Maybe Osaka Taro will stay alive for the rest of this basho. All the Shimpan are getting up here. I suppose it's a mono-e. I'm not sure what for. Yeah, this has to do with this match between Asashio and Taiho. I can only imagine it would be an inadvertent step out would be the issue. The decision holds, so I'm not sure what they were reviewing there, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. Asashio gets his Kensho Kin, picks up his first win, and that's day 2 of the Spa Show. Thank you very much for joining me.